Guys, we have another hobby topic today. These are some topics I've been saving to the kind of the end part of the Quitting Garbage Pail Kids series. That's going to run us out the next couple of months. And so this topic today is about provenance, what that means when it comes to collecting, specifically garbage pail kids. So yeah, that's today's topic, and I've got some examples out that I'm going to make some points with, and yeah, so that's that. While I'm waiting on a few people to get in here, I was going to show you this display I'm making. Yeah, I'm making a website currently. It'll just be garbagearchive.com. But yeah, I need to take some photographs for like banners and stuff, like headers, and so I got our boy in there. Always have to have some garbage pail kids, right? Yeah, sort of. These are like some really like popular items. This isn't necessarily like my favorite items. It's just things I think everyone can find something that they recognize or remember. So, yeah. Hey Adam, yeah, lots of goodies in there. I'll just show you some of my favorites. I just Topps Bathroom Buddies is just fucking classic. It's from 1996, and the ones that come from the UK has stickers in there. Like this has stickers, but the ones that are the British ones, like I have some, I just don't have them out, has a different type of sticker, and it's the actual Bathroom Buddies, and they're this big. So cool. What's something else? I mean, there's tons of fucking notable shit all over this thing, obviously, but this is something you never see, is any sort of now and later that's sealed. I'm lucky to have that. These sell for over $1,000 each. This is the 1986 Ectoplasm bubblegum. Yeah, that's $1,000 item. If you watched Adam Eats the 80s, the guy who did the Ghostbusters, he doesn't even own that. I was so proud to know that fact. Cool. Yeah, so today's topic is about provenance, what that means, especially when it comes to collecting garbage pail kids. So let me explain that. So yesterday we talked about like when you see an item on Facebook, you pretty much know who's probably going to be interested in that item. Sorry about the glare. I just realized nothing is being seen right now. Let's see. Yeah, like when you see something on eBay or Facebook, you pretty much know who's going to be bidding on it. And so there's a general sense of like people's niches, like what you collect, what I collect, what other people collect. And it's a great lead into this idea of provenance. So that's today's topic. So provenance, listen, is like the origin of a collectible. The word provenance really begins with art. It's kind of a word you hear more about, like museums having works of art. Like what was the origin of the Mona Lisa? So you know that the origin of Mona Lisa is France. I believe it was given to the King of France. I don't know which king it was, by Leonardo da Vinci. So the provenance of the Mona Lisa is just Paris, or the city of Paris. And now the provenance of the Mona Lisa is the Louvre, the museum that has Mona Lisa. But in collectibles, we also have provenance. And it's something that is used to mainly talk about the origins of significant items. So So when you look at, hey, Paul. So if you think about atom bomb, the provenance of this card, this atom bomb card, well, there's not a provenance. So I don't know how many atom bombs were made, but I know there's twice as many atom bombs as Potty Scotties, because, you know, in the Series 1 set, atom bomb was one of the variants. So there's literally double the amounts of atom bombs than Nasty Nick. Yeah, that's a better example. So technically, Nasty Nick should be twice as rare as any atom bomb. That said, we're talking about a mass-produced item. So as cool as an atom bomb is, there's no provenance because this was mass-produced. Okay. Even if you put this in a museum, in a frame, it wouldn't have a provenance because I have this card. You have this card, right? You might even have a better one than I do. So there's no provenance when you're talking about a card like this, even as cool as it is. A custom, like this one I got a couple weeks ago, does not have a provenance. Now, it could one day, but I don't know how many were made, and I just imagine there's probably, at least, 500,000 of these made. But still, there's just too many of these to have a true grounding as an item that has a provenance. So, again, to clarify, today's topic is about significant items. This one's fairly significant. I mean, it's... This is a Jeff Zapata piece that was used in an R.L. Stein book. Supposedly, I honestly have not looked at the books. It's just an ink rough. It's still very cool, but it's just pen and ink. It's basically Sharpie, Not the best example to talk about provenance, but at this point, this item barely has any provenance. I don't think enough people care about this item for it to have any grounding in anyone's collection, especially mine. I don't think this would have any sort of provenance. However, when you're talking about cheap toys, obviously these have a provenance only because they actually belong to me personally. So when you're talking about provenance, you're also talking about, listen, people. It's a sense of place. So when you're thinking about, about atom bomb, what's the sense of place with atom bomb? There's not really one, okay? Now the owner of the art of atom bomb definitely has a claim. Any owner of any of the art of atom bomb has a claim to the provenance of atom bomb, but really he belongs to us because he's been so mass produced. There's not one collection where he resides that is distinct enough to say, oh, this belongs to so and so. However, when you're thinking about cheap toys, my niche, my distinct collection is so, it has such defined borders that when you see a one-of-one atom bomb cheap toy, this would have a Russ Van Garbage Archive provenance. Okay? And I can't speak for everyone's collections. This isn't about me making myself look good. I'm just trying to make an example of what I'm trying to explain. So, and it's about provenance. So how do you get provenance? Well, the provenance is a form of power. So when you're talking about power, money, time, positioning, and I would add people as well. I mean, life is about relationships, it's about people. Think about yourself as a garbage pail kid collector right now. You probably would not be collecting this stuff this heavy if it wasn't for me and all your friends. Seriously. I would not have bought all this fucking shit if it wasn't for you guys egging me on and just carrying this on for so long. No way. I can tell you right now, in 2006, I was buying every set, and when I got to set number 15, I would have quit if it wasn't for Wayne's website. I got on Wayne's website. I was like, oh, there's other people collecting this shit. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, what are you guys collecting? They showed me all this other shit, and I was like, oh, damn, there's more shit besides the cards. It was the people that drove this collection to this level. But today's topic is about provenance. So there's certain Garbage Pail Kid items with certain people that is so distinct that the items have gained power because they have the power of provenance. Okay, so the easiest examples of this, it's not cheap toys. The easiest example is definitely the art. Okay, so I wish I had a better example to show you. I'm just going to pull, hold on. I'm just grabbing shit. Okay, so here we go. So if you look at Rush Hour Russ here, there's only probably like 10 people that know I have this. This item isn't that significant. It's a color rough. It's not the final art, so it's just a color rough. It happens to be the best color rough. It's color rough A. Still, this item doesn't carry enough significance. It's not popular enough to have a true provenance. Unless I buy more Rush Hour Russ merch and build a Rush Hour Russ collection, and everyone knows I have that collection. So when you're out there in the hobby, what you're seeing a lot these days are people making rainbows, right? So what they're doing is, oh, I can show you with these, I think. I don't really collect cards. I mean, we all have cards, but my rainbows look like this. So my rainbows happen to be Garbage Pail Kid toys, not cards. So what you're seeing are people building provenance by going, you know what? Nasty Nick is my boy. And every time you see Nasty Nick pop up on Deal or No Deal, you know who to call, right? Because I'm the Nasty Nick boy. That sounds weird. Okay. But anyway, now I'm not the Nasty Nick guy. I do like Nasty Nick, but he's not my favorite. I'm personally not known for any one character. I'm only known for cheap toys and candy. But what you're seeing in this crazy fucking time period in the hobby, it's gotten so big. They've made so much shit that all you can really do is pick a character that other people haven't really picked much and buy the shit out of it. And that's what you're seeing. And so when I see people making rainbows, even though sometimes I find it cringy and cheap, it's like, yeah, that's all you got. It just depends on what level you take it to. So there's some collectors who, they just get a rainbow of sapphire or whatever. But they're building provenance this way. So they're picking a character, and now I'm the Boney Tony guy, or I'm the Joe Blow guy. So when you see a Joe Blow, you know who to call, right? But that's fine, but that's the easiest example of provenance that you see in everyday Facebook collecting life are people who focus on bow and arrow, right? I don't know anybody who's doing that, but they should. Maybe someone named Bowen, I don't know. So that's probably the easiest way to get provenance, but it's also the weakest because at the end of the day, you would just end up with like 10 cards of a character, and who really gives a shit about 10 cards of any character, And it barely even give two shits about what I'm showing you here. So, even though these are like $80 a piece. So, So my point is, with provenance, it takes more than that. It takes more than a rainbow. If you're doing the rainbow style provenance, you need to go heavier. Whatever you've done already, go 3 times as much. And that's not even enough. And especially for the key characters. So if you want to have a nasty Nick provenance, I personally know at least 7 people collecting this character, and which means there's way more than that. So, but yeah, with provenance, I think it's important, but only with the really significant items, like legacy items, what I call them. I would love to be the prototype type guy. I have a lot of prototypes. Well, it's relative. Like, I don't have a lot, but I have more than most people. Like, definitely over 10 prototypes, toy prototypes of Garbage Pail Kids. So, but something like a 1 of 1, it doesn't automatically give it provenance, but it could. Okay, one more thing I want to talk about is the idea of discovery. Okay, so this is related. I'll explain. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to take this bad boy out. All right, what you're looking at is a Nova Bonbon Sunshine Megan. Currently, there's 3 of these known. This was the first one ever found. Now, there's an idea in Garbage Pail Kids about discovering. So, now this toy came from a man in Las Vegas. I don't know his name, even though that's where I got this. No one knows his name. The man who had this was not in Garbage Pail Kids. So, what is the provenance of this toy? Was it the man in Las Vegas? No. Because the man in Las Vegas was not in the Garbage Pail Kids community. But when this came to me, and when it joined all these other cheap toys that are significant, it now gained an extra plus power. It has a provenance power. But my point is, just because you were the first to hold something doesn't mean it necessarily, has provenance with you. So, all right. And the other example I wanted to share is this one. Now, the guy I got this from was a Garbage Pail Kid collector. The key word is was. So when I bought this, I wish I could say his fucking name, but I said I wouldn't do all that. Hey, let me just I'm gonna give him a fake name. Okay, let's pretend his name was Brent. Okay, so when Brent sold this to me, this had a Brent provenance. But as time went on, as I built my collection, as Brent sold off his collection, and as Brent disappeared out of the hobby, and as I gained momentum in the hobby, this toy lost the Brent provenance and I gained it. All right, so when you're looking at items, art, 1 of 1s, some of you might consider the Superfractor Chromes as unique. I mean, they're supposed to be unique. You might consider autographs unique. The problem is a lot of these guys are autographing so much that there's like a lot of people in the hobby with the same autographs. But when you're talking about provenance, it's usually about super significant items that not many people have, and they belong to collectors who have a bunch of that type of category inside that one category. So yeah, but it's something that you see a lot with other collectibles, like coins will have provenances. Anything that you think of like museums. And speaking on museums, it's, there's one topic that's come up over the years is, don't you wish we had a Garbage Pail Kid museum where we could all donate things and we could build this museum together that you could share it with, the world or whatever. But then it's like, where should it be? Where would the Garbage Pail Kid museum be? Maybe Brooklyn, Miami or somewhere. So if we had a museum, then Provenance would be very obvious. Because then you would have items that was actually elevated to museum status. But as it stands, it's me and you in this big ass hobby that's just getting bigger and bigger. But every now and then you see an item come up that it's fucking, there's probably one of them or two of them. And if it goes to the right person, the item will gain extra power because of provenance. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Very simple discussion. I didn't get actually very deep with it. There's definitely more to it. So let me go back and clarify what I started with. So when you're thinking about our beloved trading cards, these don't hold provenance. They don't hold enough significance. They were mass produced. And when they were mass produced, they went to a mass market where thousands of people walked by the shelves and could buy this. There's atom bombs that you don't even know exist, that I don't know exist. There's atom bombs in attics across America right now. There's atom bombs that will be discovered 3 years from now. There's people with more atom bombs than any of us. We don't even know it yet because this was mass produced. So something like this isn't going to carry any sort of, museum, gallery, significant private collection provenance because it's mass produced. I hope that makes sense. I just want that to make sense more than anything. What's so beautiful about this is on the flip side, we do have items. I'm sorry, I keep picking that up. This isn't that significant. Come on. It is technically a prototype, but I just need something to hold. So, but isn't it beautiful that we do have some things out there in our hobby that has the potential of holding a higher place? All right. Let's end there. I was trying to end on a good conclusion. This is a big topic, man. And I don't think we finished yesterday's topic either. I mean, because it's pretty complicated shit. I do want to dive a little bit more into rainbow collecting. I'm talking about, when... Sorry, it sounded a little gay when I said that. But, where people collect one character and they get them in all different colors. Let's talk about that on another part, because that is very obviously something happening right now. But I do think that is a great way to build provenance and to gain power in the hobby. I know there's certain characters when I see come up for sale, I immediately think of one collector. Think about the power that collector has. That collector has gained enough power that a stranger connects them with an object. That's badass. I'm the cheap toy and candy guy. Russ Van, out.